Welcome to the Welsh Yogi Podcast. Vishnudaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. What have you been up to, Gopala?
What have I been up to? Well, there's a sort of theme that's been going on in my life at the minute. And that's sort of really understanding and appreciating what we have here, especially in Wales. And this is the Welsh Yogi Podcast, so I can, speak candidly and honestly about the community here. Because it's a type of sort of... am I allowed to just go off on a rant? Or
I don't mind.
what's the podcast about today?
We're just having a chat.
Yeah, so if you ask me how I'm doing, I'm going to give you this whole thing. I'm doing very well. I'm going to India tomorrow to go look for Prabhupada. I'm going with Tanknath, my mother Mishrani, my wife Gopala, the four of us, and it's good to be with them. And I could say, I've been very lucky to be, have that close time with them in the past for quite extended periods of time. The first time was when we did the GBC course, when we went to Pune. And that was before I was married, and it was just me, Tanknath Mishrani, doing this course, but we were staying in an Airbnb. And that was my first experience of spending a lot of time with them. A lot of time with senior devotees. And it's just invaluable to see the way they act, the way they live, how they're fully dedicated to their own personal deities and spiritual practices. Everything's about their deities, Krishna and Balaram, Tanknath's personal deities, and they're the real deal. And sometimes you get, in spiritual life, you might have, you might appreciate, so you might appreciate, you have different visiting people coming in, swooping in and swooping out, and there might be big sannyasis, or they give the big talks, or they're famous on Instagram, and they come in and there's a big fanfare. Wow, feel the energy, which I was like as well, because that is valid in spiritual life, is feeling, what your heart is telling you. But sometimes it gets overlooked. If you want to feel the energy of these devotees like Tanknath and Mother Mishrani, then look at this T. Krishna project. Look at the building that's being manifested, the beautiful Gornitai deities. Look what's happening, but most importantly, look at the community that's coming up and been growing. That's the energy of these devotees, and they've given years and years of sacrifice that devotees that are joining now don't see. I remember, like I said, praying, going out in Sankirtan every day for years, and just praying when will the devotees come? Praying to Panchatattva in Swansea, when will we have devotees?
Yeah, it's amazing. You said Panchatattva there. I've been staying up with the near the Newcastle temple for the past 4 weeks, and last Sunday I was in their temple room with the Panchatattva, and it was just me, a guy giving a class.
Giving a class.
Okay, sorry.
An exalted devotee.
An exalted devotee giving a class.
Who was this guy?
His name is I forget. But
he was given a Bhagavatam class.
He was given Bhagavad Gita class.
Life. Okay.
Yeah, but there was just 3 of us in the room. And then Krishna Bhajan Das, who's kind of like a spiritual uncle of mine, he was here in Wales, and he video called me, and he showed me the temple room. Right. And I saw this full temple room, all brahmacharis lined up, facing, and it was just very organized, very full, and just looked like a very big...
and especially in Bayview, this is becoming apparent that this community is bursting at the seams.
It's huge, yeah.
It's bursting, and it's ready to just explode.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when we get the keys to T. Krishna, and we start doing stuff in the T. Krishna building, it's going to explode.
That would be too small straight away. Right?
Straight away. Already it'll be too small. And the temple in Swansea is being that program the other day, Kesh Maharaj, again, the community was bursting at the seams.
Yeah, you can't fit that many people in that space.
We're ready to just explode, and there's no harm in that bursting, exploding, and spilling out onto the streets of the of the cities, and us doing big Harinams, and the Hare Krishna movement is here. But those devotees realize, look, you're looking for the special energy, when the big sannyasis give the talks online or whatever, you're looking for this big energy, like this is all around you. Don't overlook these devotees. Like I said, as time goes on, then you start to see more and more the scope of everything.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, you will see the scope of everything. You'll see the scope of all the devotees that we're around rubbing shoulders with today, and like Takanath and Mishwani, and even you guys, like all of us. This is like, okay, and we have to take responsibility as well. Like, okay, yeah, I have to take responsibility in order to, these people have sacrificed for me. I've got spiritual life because of these people's sacrifice. The fact that there's devotees here in Wales, the fact that I've got a place to go, maybe all of us like got a flyer or a book from a devotee and think, oh, this is information. I'm reading solid information of Krishna. I've been in touch with Prabhupada. Why is that? That's because these devotees struggled with blood, sweat, and tears for years and years and years. If they didn't do that, it wouldn't be here. They've sacrificed, so we should sacrifice for them, and all of us should feel responsibility, a strong responsibility to keep this community going. And to do that, Prabhupada wrote I think a very poignant letter. I think this letter should be like really understood and studied.
Do you want to get it out? There's a letter to the devotees in Wales.
In Wales, yeah. I used to have a few devotees in Wales that Prabhupada gave him, I think he gave him a Maha Garland and said, go to Wales and try and start something. And he did. And the few devotees joined from Cardiff and one from Barry Island. And they were called the Cardiff Boys. They were known as the Cardiff Boys, and they were known for their sweet singing, like the choirs on the hills of Wales, and known for their like.
That's what someone in Newcastle said.
He
said, the Cardiff Wales have a nice singer voice, because he's like a South Indian.
Yeah.
He said, the Welsh people, they sing like the Bengalis. Very sweet. He said, because I did a kirtan when I was there. He goes, he said, I could tell from you are just like a Bengali singer. And I knew then.
I knew then
that guy speaks a lot of truth.
Yeah.
I can trust this man.
Yeah.
Anyway, you got the letter there, is it?
Okay. Well, this is, okay.
What year was it written?
This was a letter in, I think, 1972. Just want to check. Yeah, January the 10th, 1972.
By Srila Prabhupada. To somebody in Cardiff. To a devotee.
To Kulashekar, to the devotee that he, sent to Cardiff to preach. Do you say, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated November 27th, 1971. And I am very much pleased to hear from you that you are feeling the wonderful result of this preaching movement by yourself opening a nice centre in Cardiff, Wales. And I am encouraged that there is such nice response by those people there. Our business is simply to plant the seed of devotional service wherever we go, and to give everyone a taste of the transcendently relishable activity of life. If we are very much convinced ourselves of Krishna philosophy, then we shall be able to inject this seed of devotional service into the hearts of persons. And they should be given all encouragement and facility to hear from Srimad Bhagavatam and chant Hare Krishna. And in this way, the seed will come out and the creeper will come out by such watering process. And I don't think there's any denying that not only do you plant the seed, there's one thing to go to a place, you do a festival, and then move on. We're doing a traveling bus tour. Let's get on the bus and let's go around different places and chant Hare Krishna. Fantastic. You're planting those seeds. That's wonderful. Planting seeds of spiritual life into people. Here I am. If someone just hears Hare Krishna, they get spiritual benefit. But Prabhupada's saying here it's more than just planting a seed. You have to give them facility to hear from Srimad Bhagavatam and chant Hare Krishna. And to do that, you need a place. You need a temple.
A greenhouse. Exactly. A glass house.
Yeah. And that's what they did. That's what Takanath and Mishwani did. And you have Prema Ras Prabhu, who's now preaching in Bath, and Gopinath Prabhu, who's now in New Zealand, who are helping them. Just 4 people, and then a merry band of people that you could just grab, like whoever. And that's what Takanath always says, is like, one thing is to give them a book, but we're to create that facility where they can, as Prabhupada is saying here in this letter, to read Srimad Bhagavatam and chant Hare Krishna. And that's why they started. That's why they opened Govindas.
Yeah, and give all encouragement as well. Like when you first come here,
exactly.
It's like
it's a nice point.
You're encouraged
Yeah.
to do these things, and you get that. When you just said there, give you a taster, it made me think about, remember when you go to Asda back in the day, and they'd give you like a little square of cheese on the counter?
Yeah.
It's like when you come to T. Krishna for the first time, it's like you get a little square of cheese, and you're like, that's quite nice cheese, actually. You know, you keep coming back for a little taster, and before you know it, you've got a fridge full of cheese, you know, like you're a devotee.
I'm just thinking, like, with what you read there about planting the seeds.
Wait, let's just take that in that bombshell.
I didn't actually.
Let's take in that beautiful analogy. Wow, that should be in the books.
Fridge full of
Why
cheese.
doesn't Sukadeva Goswami talk about those amazing Asda analogies? Anyway, sorry, Peter, go on.
That's all right. I was just thinking, like,
Can I just cut you off? They don't do tasters in Asda anymore, do they?
I don't think so.
I haven't seen a square of cheese in years.
Well, I guess it's like health and safety.
Health and
stuff,
safety.
isn't it?
But you used to get a little cocktail stick with some cheese.
Yeah, well, we
It was
can
common.
when we open Atma again, we can bring it back.
As a child, my dad would do laps to keep going back for more cheese. Fill his belly. Anyway, carry on, Peter.
Go on for you.
I was just thinking there because it was mentioning like planting the seeds, you know, and it's one thing to like plant a seed in the ground, but then it really takes a lot of effort to like really grow what's in that seed. You know, you have to come back day after day and make sure that plant is getting nourished and stuff like that, and actually, you know, so that's like what Tarakanath has done. He's like really stuck in one spot and like really made sure that the seeds he's planted are growing properly every single step of the way, and he's planted his anchor in the ground and said, you know, I'm just going to stay in. I'm going to make sure these plants grow. Yeah. And here we are. We just come in and
award-winning tomatoes.
Yeah.
He said that today. I think he said homegrown tomatoes are the sweetest. And he was saying when he first started, so many devotees would come and say, oh, what you need to be doing is this, and what you need to be doing is that, and so on and so forth. And he was like, I'm not so sure about that. Like, I want to grow this my way. You know, like the way according to my vision.
Yeah, there was a time when he had a visiting sannyasi who's around now and gives, you know, all glories to him. The sannyasi came, they had a restaurant, Govinda's was running, so which is like in Swansea, it was our vegetarian restaurant. And you have a sannyasi that comes and he just says, you know, and when a visiting sannyasi, you know, like who's like a renunciant, the saffron cloth comes, you know, you want to give him, like, they deserve respect. You know, and the sannyas ashram should be respected. That's why Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. You know, it's not a small thing. But he came in and he was like, "Let's go. We got to go and let's go in Harinam." You know, and Tarakanath was like, "Well, no, because our cafe's open. Our devotees need to staff this cafe." And he was like, and the sannyasi was getting angry at Tarakanath, and that was the Tarakanath. I think Tarakanath tells the story because it's one of the first times where Tarakanath basically understood, like, no, we're not doing that, you know, and to put his foot down and say no, and realize, like, yeah, I've got to, you know, almost risk. I got to be the person that people don't like in order to make sure this works. I can't be Mr. Nice Guy all the time, you know. And as Prabhupada is saying this letter, which will continue, I guess, in a bit, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, like Peter again made the nice point of the nice, you know, and back to Rupa also made his nice point and he has, you know, in his way.
Cheese.
And in this way, the seed will come out. So you give him facility to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, chant Hare Krishna, then the seed comes out and the creeper will come out so the seed comes out. Right, so that's one thing. And the creeper will come out by such watering process of just hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna. That is the watering.
And creeper means plant, right?
Yeah, creeper means plant. Yeah, it's an English word. So now you have taken the responsibility to plant the seed of Krishna consciousness in Cardiff, Wales. So I think that if you take the matter very seriously and remain cool-headed, then that you will attract the attention of Krishna, who will give you all opportunity.
Something I just noticed there, Prabhupada says, cool-headed. Keep your head shaved. Like, it's a unique feature of ISKCON Wales is dhoti, tilak, kurta. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm feeling a bit left field here. but
Yeah.
that's what I heard there.
Is that what you would take from this if you read it?
Maybe, but a lot of devotees. Anyway,
Go on.
Because he was mentioning earlier, or is
like
it?
we're quite orthodox in Wales in a certain way in our dress.
Yeah.
Like we stick to Vaishnav. We're not scared to like be devotees.
You can give class in some big temples around the country, but then the audience, hardly any of them are in Dhoti and Kurta. And
Yeah. And you come here. That's what. So when Krishna Bhajan showed me the video, he was filming T Krishna, you look in there and it looks like kind of a scene from the Bhagavatam because all the devotees are wearing devotional cloth. Like the whole room is full of devotees.
And it's the clothes don't make the man.
No.
You can wear any clothes and be pure devotee.
Yeah.
But generally, devotees will try and live their life in a way that pleases Krishna. And to do that, they will follow the same culture that Krishna follows in the spiritual world. It's the ideal culture. So we want to try and also we want to live that culture ourselves. And we want to inspire other people to live that culture. And why not?
Yeah.
We're Hare Krishnas. We want to live this culture. Muslims are also just as brave and, continue to living their culture in another country. Why can't we do ours?
Yeah.
People might say, it's cultural appropriation. Well, but cultural we're not just taking this culture so cheaply, like, oh yeah, I want to wear dreads or something. We're saying like, no, this is the real heart of it. This is where I want to live.
This is an appropriate culture for spiritual life.
Yeah.
I don't know if Prabhupada meant that by saying cool-headed, but...
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's a way to look at it.
I was going to say, because...
don't think so, but...
At some point, at some point in the letter, doesn't Prabhupada say, if you just keep these things tight, and I'm just thinking maybe like, our external appearance might be a segment of that, how we, we're keeping the Sankirtan tight, we're keeping the morning schedule tight, we're keeping our dress tight, and everything will go smooth for management,
And also, I was speaking to one devotee earlier about, spiritual masters and, because now the new generation of spiritual masters are starting to come. And now we are seeing the disciples of Prabhupada's disciples becoming spiritual masters. And if you can get Srimad Bhagavatam up, first canto. Go on. Sorry, Peter. So I was speaking to one devotee. So like our culture, and also in Wales, we do have a clear spiritual line of authority coming from obviously Prabhupada's GBC, etc. But we have inherited, let's be real, the brand of Krishna consciousness, our brand of Krishna consciousness is a beautiful, I would say a beautiful sort of flavorful mix of His Holiness Srila Shivaram Swami and His Holiness Devamrita Swami. Isn't it?
Definitely.
And you're getting like, maybe Taraknath will be a spiritual master. I think he will soon. Or maybe in the future, who knows? And then if I was thinking like, a disciple of that would then inherit like, Taraknath's mood and then go up then through Taraknath's gurus who are like Devamrita Maharaj, Shivaram Raj, and then also find a duty to dive into Shivaram Swami's books and things like that, the same way I have as a disciple. So this is our brand of Krishna consciousness. This is us. It might be a different mood in another temple, and that's fine. You want to wear what you wear or whatever, that's fine. But our Welsh brand is a brand that comes down from the same brand as His Holiness Devamrita Swami and Shivaram Swami. Sorry, go on. Yeah.
So just that word brand is very... It's like the right word, really, because Krishna consciousness is like a car. Like you could say a car is a car, yeah? Then you have different brands of that car. Like you can have posh cars, rubbish cars. So it's like you can have different brands of Krishna consciousness, but it's still Krishna consciousness. Yeah. But I quite like like what you say, that tasty synthesis of...
And it's backed by Shastra. Srimad Bhagavatam 113. Nigama kapuchar galitam palam sukam bugada amrita dvra sangyutam pibavata bhagavatam rasa alayam mahu ahurasika bhuvapukaha. O expert and thoughtful men, relish this Srimad Bhagavatam, relish this spiritual text, the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. It emanates from the lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is so relishable, it's unbelievable, especially for those pure in heart. It's become even more relishable because Sukadeva Goswami has spoken it. So the examples, like you get these parrots, and if they peck a fruit, then the fruit becomes more sweet because they've pecked it. So similarly, it becomes sweet from Sukadeva Goswami, and it becomes even sweeter from the lips from another pure devotee. So we're in a fortunate position. I'd consider Thakurdas my spiritual master in a lot of ways. And it's, for me personally, like, I'm just speaking very openly and honestly in this Welsh Yogi podcast, it's this, you're inheriting this brand of Krishna consciousness that's just getting sweeter and sweeter if it's handed down properly, from Srila Prabhupada to Shivaram Swami and Devamrita Swami and Thakurdas Prabhu, and so we've inherited this very sweet sort of Krishna consciousness. The community is growing.
You could really feel that today in the kirtan also. Just every Sunday we have this amazing kirtan. We get together and everyone in the community gets together, and it's a phenomenal kirtan. And I was thinking today, it's just Thakurdas' energy and his sacrifice is just coming out.
He never used to do kirtans, Get that letter back. Sure. You never used to do. We used to wouldn't it be? Imagine if Thakurdas did a kirtan. That'd be amazing that day come. Now it'd be but he started, and it was now it's really become Thakurdas' kirtans have really become the heartbeat of our community.
I think about it. There's no kirtans like that happening in the UK every Sunday. I don't know, but it's
our brand.
Yeah,
there might be other kirtans happening, but this is us. Yeah. That kirtan in Gorpurnima, the last kirtan, was phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
There might be other phenomenal kirtans going on, in the ISKCON world. I'm sure there is, but this is us. Yeah. And this is a special sort of flavor. And I'll just carry on a little bit with this letter.
Wait, can I just? This is not just kirtan. This is T. Krishna kirtan.
Wow.
Yeah. Like M&S food. This is not just kirtan. This is T. Krishna kirtan. It's a brand of kirtan. They're so sweet. It's been pecked by Thakurdas Speak.
T. Krishna Kamri.
Anyway.
Even the name T. Krishna Kamri is genius. It's absolutely genius. We brainstormed that name. We thought, I think it was Dunda. Yeah. Thakurdas would say it was him, but I think it was Dunda. That actually came up with that. But T. Krishna Kamri.
Thai Krishna Simru.
That's what people say. But they still say Krishna.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to, when we were thinking of a name, we really think, because we didn't want to be known as, let's go to Butte Street. Let's go to Soho Street. Let's go to the Manor. It's not the Radha Krishna Temple or Bhaktivedanta Manor. It's the Manor. Or so let's go to Manchester, or let's go to we wanted to be so we didn't want to be let's go to Butte Street. But luckily we've managed to find a name where that doesn't happen now. Everyone's like, let's go to T. Krishna. If they're chanting the holy names, just it rolls off the tongue. Just to go there, it's absolutely stroke. That name is great.
I've heard people walk past the flag and just read it out loud. They've got no idea, really. They might not, but they're chanting.
Okay, so listen to this. Should we carry on with this letter? Or? Yeah. There's more to get into. Where are we now? Okay, so watering. Okay. So now you've taken great responsibility to plant the seed of Krishna consciousness in Cardiff, Wales. The responsibility to plant the seed is, think of the responsibility of watering it, and now we have to do that. Let's be serious. So they've watered and looked after this seed and this community, and we all have helped and to make this community grow like this. We have to do the same in the future to make it grow more and more. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, okay, they've done it now, so thanks for them. Let's all be appreciative and thank God. Okay, let's just now we gotta look after it. Sometimes that's why Lord Vishnu does maintenance. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva do creation and destruction, because maintaining something is harder than creating it.
That's what happened when we got this house by me. They had lovely
Lovely.
lovely garden.
Lovely garden. Lovely. Like,
So when we bought the house, lovely garden there.
yeah, lovely. That's like,
And now it's full of crisp packets. The grass is overgrown. You know what I mean? Like we have.
they're back to Hooper's crisp packets.
Nah, bro's in off a street.
Just throw that in the garden. But want some crisps? Where's the bin, Back to Rupert? Just chuck it in the garden. Like,
In my lovely garden.
chuck it in the lovely garden. Okay,
But
so
you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't maintain a garden,
yeah.
it gets rough. Like I just thought I'd bring it down to layman's terms.
Yeah, no, that's why you're here.
What? What do you mean by that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, fine.
I'd love to be able to do that. What am I doing? I'm tired. Right, what are we doing?
Should we finish podcast?
Finish the podcast?
No, sorry.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, I thought it was going right.
It was going all right until.
No, let's carry on. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
no, definitely.
Finish the letter.
Finish the letter. That's what I said.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
Hi, Krishna. Now you have taken the great responsibility for Cardiff. If you take the matter very seriously and remain cool-headed, then you will attract the attention of Krishna, who'll give you opportunity. In this way, because you are a responsible leader, Krishna will force you to advance in Krishna consciousness, so you may know that you are very much favored by Krishna. So the taking responsibility forces you to advance, and that's true.
Wow.
Do you know, it could be, this is that as far out, like, you know, because if I take responsibility, then naturally you get a headache. You see it with Joel has taken on the responsibility for Food for Life to distribute meals to the hungry people, and he's running around and he's really an anxiety, like, oh, I got to do this, you know, but it's all to do with Krishna. Yeah. So it forces your meditation to be more intense. If you're worrying, like, okay, I got to do this, you know, back to Joe with the uni society. Oh, I got to make sure it's got it. You know what I mean? If you take any responsibility for the Hare Krishna movement, then that could just be like, you know, taking your whatever service that you have very seriously. Yeah. But Krishna forces you to advance.
Remember COVID? Like, I felt like we all
Yeah. What was that like?
No, let's not get conspiracy. I'm talking about when we did the food distribution.
Chinese virus.
200,000 meals, whatever, 250,000 meals. Because we were all take responsibility for doing that service.
We were such a well-oiled team.
And we all came together.
That can't be emphasised enough.
That was like a scrum. Have you ever seen a scrum where it just keeps going?
Yeah.
Like, we started in hour half and the scrum went all the way and we scored a try.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we were forced to advance.
It was
like,
unbelievable. Yeah.
Everyone took levels up in their Christian consciousness. Like, it's such good XP.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Like, we all leveled up
like
quite a lot.
defeating a boss, like, you know,
oh, yeah. It was like double XP weekend.
It was. And from that, we went to the next level. Definitely. Jinx.
Touch wood.
That doesn't work. There's no touch wood in Jinx. You can't talk now. No, you can't talk. I will punch you. Isn't it?
Say my name.
No, don't. That's 2 punches.
Go ahead and punch me. Vaishnav Brad.
I could...
Ow! Anyway, sorry. Can you undrinks me?
Back to Rupa. Okay. One thing. You must be attentive that our routine work of such as rising early, cleansing, chanting, temple worship. Sorry, am I boring you? Yeah.
No, sorry,
I got a question.
It just got a bit hot when you said that.
Go on. Back to sorry,
Peter.
Back to Peter.
So we also hear that, you know, position.
Is this a challenging question?
No. I'm curious, like, because we also hear that, like, position within the institution doesn't necessarily equate to spiritual advancement.
Yeah.
But it seems like the statement here is saying that the more someone takes responsibility in the institution, the more that Krishna forces them to advance, you know. So how can we kind of hold these two statements, you know?
Well, Prabhupada says, because you're a responsible leader, Krishna will force you to advance in Krishna consciousness.
Right.
He's not saying, you know, because you're a responsible leader, Krishna will force you to advance in Krishna consciousness. He's not saying someone who's not a leader can't have that opportunity to be forced to advance in Krishna consciousness.
Right.
But speaking from experience, you know, leading something and taking ownership of something, you know, is difficult. You know, and it is true that, you know, a neophyte devotee, a neophyte person in spiritual life will think like for example, in the Catholic Church, they might think, wow, the Pope, if I could be the Pope, then that means I'm the most spiritually advanced person in the society. So I've got to try and get to being Pope. So then you have like, well, how do I be a Pope? Well, I can murder this guy, or I can do some like politics with these people, you know, and by politics and sneaking, and then you get to the position of Pope. But is that what spiritual life's meant to be about? You know, so that's why, like, that's that point. But the other side of the coin is that when, like Prabhupada said, when someone went to Prabhupada, can you give me your mercy? And there's one time where Prabhupada said, look, do you know what a headache it is running this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world? He said, if you want my mercy, take some of this headache. And I think, you know, especially I was speaking to, I don't know how like confidential this was, but no, I think it's fine. I was speaking to a Kandadi Baru, and he was saying about, you know, managing Buckland Hall. And I saw his desk and these papers everywhere, and I was thinking, wow, it must be real difficult to manage this place. And he said, no, compared to, because he was he was the temple president, if not one of the best temple presidents of Bhaktivedanta Mana. He said, compared to being temple president, he said, this is easy. You know, he says easy, but he said it's nowhere near as much fun. But he said it's easy because you're not dealing with people's lives. Do you know what I mean? And firsthand, at least in our little institution, and that's why let's go back to, you know, glorifying Tankananda Mother Mishrani, is that, you know, we have temple council meetings. Like here we go. I'm going to read this paragraph before I go on. I'm going to read this paragraph of the letter before I carry on. One thing you must be attentive that our routine work, such as rising early, cleansing, chanting, temple worship, reading, sankirtan, etc., should always be maintained at the highest level of Krishna conscious standard. As the smallest neglect or inattention to these matters of routine practice will cause all our other programs to fail. These things are the backbone of spiritual life. So it is natural that in these things, like chanting regularly 16 rounds and holding daily arti and kirtan, are observed faithfully, then people will be attracted and our preaching will have effect, and the management of temple affairs will become a very easy matter. So when we have like to manage the temple, we have to focus on the routine aspects of temple worship and temple life. But there's another aspect which is devotees' lives. You know, because we're not building the community means we really need to take care of these devotees. So accepting leadership role is more than just, oh, this is the post and this guy's the boss. It's taking on the headache of worrying about everyone, worrying about everything, worrying about every person. You know, and I'm just saying, like, I can tell you firsthand that you know, it's not a 9-to-5 job being a manager of ISKCON Wales. You know, it's a 24/7 job. You know, you ring in and dealing with things as soon as you get up, from 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning until 9, 10, or 11 o'clock at night. You know, but that's what we do it for. And in ISKCON Wales, you're not get, you know, we don't get, you know, there's no, like, I don't get paid more because I'm one of the, you know, on the leadership board or whatever of, you know, on the Yatra Council of ISKCON Wales. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no pay rise. Do you see what I mean? Like, me and my wife live in a little room at the top of the men's ashram, like, you know, don't even have a, you know, like, because really, like, me and my wife, that's Gopi Gita, she's an amazing person. Like, she's lived there for years. As we look after these boys who are growing up in Krishna consciousness, she doesn't have a kitchen, a sink, nothing. Do you know what I mean? For a woman to not have those things, we got a kitchen, a sink, and everything downstairs, but it's uncomfortable. You know, she's not it's not easiest to go down and just cook yourself a meal or something like that when there's when you're in an ashram for the boys. So I'm just saying that to highlight, like, you know, some people might look for the leadership position because of they think there's some perks or there's some this or that or the other. but real sort of accept, if you want to accept this leadership position or so, accept it for love, accept it because you really want to help people and care for people, and then Krishna, and then your anxiety for everyone, and then Krishna does force you to advance in Krishna consciousness, because that getting up in the morning until beyond the 9 to 5 job is a way to force you to think of things to do with Krishna. Is that
yeah, fair play to you, Gopala. You are living in a little shoebox and not getting paid much money and just dedicating everything.
You're paid nothing.
You're poor. You're a poor
guy.
You're a poor little man.
If anyone wants to donate,
Compared to the builder.
Well, I heard you wanted a pair of gazelles, right? Size 8 Adidas gazelles.
nah, don't buy me anything.
I won't. But
I might not like
there's a listener out there that wants to get some size.
That's a good point.
Size 8 Adidas gazelles.
Yeah,
Any colorway specifically that you're interested in?
I normally just get black and white, but something a little bit jazzy is always good.
I think a neon pink would look good on your feet.
With the anime top.
Oh yeah, with an anime.
With
top.
an anime
With the
top.
pink anime top.
Oh yeah, I wear an anime top. Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone wants to get Gopal some size 9 gazelles.
That's size 8.
Size 8
You're a
gazelles.
size 9. You?
I'm size 12, but not in a gazelle.
I'm a size 12. I am.
I'm size 12 croc.
I'll have a Bacardi
I want a
and Coke,
croc.
please, Nathaniel.
I am the only. Anyway, back to Prabhupada. Is it? Have we finished the letter now? Or we've said
All right. Okay.
no?
Well, yeah.
No.
Almost.
Almost. I was
Well,
just
no.
wondering.
I mean, yeah. I'm going. It's going on too long, is it?
No.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. I think it's an important podcast. It might be one of the more.
Is it? It's not for new people, though, really, is it?
It's not. It's definitely not for new people, but people.
Are any of them?
One thing.
Are any of them for anyone?
I don't know if anyone listens.
Do you know what I mean?
our audience?
Like, our audience is wild, like
It's like Lee,
yeah.
right, Lee?
Proper, like us, like our audience is us.
Yeah.
No, it is important.
Just
it is important because you reflected on stuff that you gave in that class the other day, so people who weren't there get a taste for that.
But that's what I'm
talk you
saying.
were
I think this podcast is like probably one of the ones where it's like actually got a serious message here. Like we're establishing like we're kind of giving people an insight into behind the scenes of the philosophy behind running a quote religious organization, isn't it? Like people are going to see a little bit behind, and I think from everything you've said, none of it is like some sinister like money making operation.
anything,
like it's very.
We're transparent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
it's quite a nice podcast, from a transparency standpoint.
Yeah. We're transparent. And yeah. Go on, Peter, you gonna say something?
Yeah, go on, Peter.
I just thought that might be something the listener might be interested in, and it's like how does it actually work, like the management and like the CVA, so it's amazing that you're explaining that very nice and clearly.
Should we finish the letter off?
Well, only this little bit. I think a few more sentences.
Size 8 gazelles.
Yeah.
You must have learned that almost. You probably can
The letter.
the whole
I was
letter,
so
right?
happy when I discovered it. I think which I discovered, not fancy, because I typed into the database.
You told us over there in that temple room. Was that when you found it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, whoa, no one's ever heard of this before?
That was actually ecstatic the first time you read it out as well.
Yeah.
Like everyone in the room was like,
I was like, what?
Because it was like
crazy.
they were Prabhupada speaking to us.
Yeah. And it's a heck of a letter.
Yeah.
Like even this bit is a heck. Like what he says now.
Yeah.
This should have been in Sankirtan book distribution marathon classes for the last 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. He says, I am glad to hear that you are distributing nicely books and magazines. The more we sell books, the more we advance in Krishna consciousness. There's so many opportunities to advance. You could say, oh, well, you're a leader, you accept responsibility, therefore, so if you're not a leader, you don't get it. But no, you're saying you've got an opportunity to distribute books. The more you do it, the more you advance. I mean, that's far out statement. And the more we help others to have solid information of how they may take advantage of their human form of life and achieve the supreme perfection, the more you do that, the more you tell people about Krishna, the more you give what you've got. We've received, real tangible spiritual knowledge that really cools and cleanses and really exhilarates the heart, and we should just give that to others. The more we do that, the more we get.
And like what Prabhupada said there, how they can do it. Like, how can you actually do it? Because philosophy, one thing, but like, that's what I love about Taekwondo classes. They're so like relatable. And it's like, he'll always bring in how this is relevant to us now in 2025 in Cardiff. Like, how can you apply this? Like, how does this apply to me? That's super important part about this, the having a living kind of via medium to the knowledge. You know, someone with realization. It's like Krishna system as well, isn't it? You have to have a guru. You have to have someone to teach you who's seen it. Like,
Tarakanath's like the guru of the village, isn't he? Because you hear in the Vedic times that the guru would just be within the community.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, you know, well, my spiritual master, you know, he's not around. But then I realized actually Tarakanath is like the spiritual master of the village. You know, so
Yeah, and that's what it would be in Vedic times. Well, not just in Vedic times. This is the principle. This is even what Prabhupada gave us, even in ISKCON, like even in life, your Diksha Guru, the one you get like serious sort of initiation from, your Diksha Guru should be the one who you get the most shiksha from. Whoever you get the most lessons from, they should be the guru, initiating guru. But, you know, for a long time, Tarakanath, you know, let's because we are in ISKCON, you know, we are the Welsh yogis. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is Tarakanath. I don't know if Tarakanath like an elephant, but
he was wearing grey today.
Okay.
Just maybe that's a sign.
Where was I? You really threw me off there.
So the elephant in the room.
Yeah, I know that bit.
So you say we're ISKCON Wales. We're ISKCON Wales. Tarakanath guru for years and years.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I would, you know. So I remember Dunda Kripa. He was like one of the leader of the Brahmachari ashram when I joined, and he was saying,
like head monk.
I was, yeah. And I was speaking to him. I was asking about, and he was saying, well, you know, really, we would take initiation from Tarakanath, but the etiquette is that a spiritual master does an initiating spiritual master. You should not give initiation or be a guru while your own initiating spiritual master is on the planet. And it is rare. There's some exceptions. Sri Ramanuja is one of the first exceptions. But generally he doesn't, no one, you know, don't do that. So to be put forward as a spiritual master while one's own spiritual master is around is a big deal. And
confirmed.
Yeah. And I was saying that for a reason. Again,
yeah, like Tarakanath is qualified to be a spiritual master.
And sorry, I was just thinking, so like, there might be devotees who want to pick a spiritual master that they can have a relationship with. And I think sometimes back to the early days when my spiritual teacher was just, you know, like Tarakanath went with his spiritual teacher, Sri Ramanuja, just went in the minibus together and they were driving, and you think of that, all that association, that relationship built up. You go, wow, that'd be me. Or the early days of Prabhupada, when Prabhupada first came to, where there's just a few disciples, and you'd be cooking with Prabhupada in the kitchen. Like, how far out would that be? And at the time, those devotees, well, with Prabhupada maybe, but you know, like maybe not. I don't know. Maybe didn't fully grasp just how important and how historically important that is.
And that's what you've been doing.
Exactly. Not in the same way, but like, you know, future. This is our opportunity. This is our opportunity to take advantage of the association now.
Yeah.
You know? Wow. There are devotees who are 65, 70 years old, like some of the senior members now, you know, in our community. You know, law of averages means they're not going to be around for much longer.
No.
We have to take advantage of it. Well, this is really important. You know, in one sense, I don't care who listens to this. This is so important. Tarakanath and Mishirani are 65, 70 years old. I hope they stay in this world as long as possible, but we should need to take advantage of their association of people who know what it's like to sacrifice for this community. Yeah.
Wow.
Like that.
It's real. Yeah, that's because what you're saying now resonates with me, because I was up in Scotland and away from here, and we were doing the kirtan up in the temple up there, and it was like I had this moment where I was like, oh, Tarakanath's my guru. Like I never thought of it like, because it's just Tarakanath. In one, like, you know, you come familiar and you just see him and you've been serving for so long. But I was like, oh wait, Taranak's my guru. Like, and I missed him then. It was like, I missed Whale. It was like, oh, I felt separation from the whole thing then, you know.
And all of us, as these sort of like, what are we, third generation devotees?
From Prabhupada, yeah.
You know, and let's be real, you know, all Welsh yogis out there, all Welsh yogis.
Anyone listen to this podcast?
Like, I almost don't want to talk about it, but, you know, time goes on. And there's certain people, leaders like Takanath, who, you know, when he's got, there's no one who's going to fill those shoes. No one's going to be the next Takanath in ISKCON Wales. Or he was the old temple president. Here's the new temple president. You know, it's not going to happen. In order to succeed him, to be his successors, we're going to have to work together. There's no question about it. You know, there's no one like that. There's not a new Takanath. It doesn't happen. Like, who we've got to work together. You know, no one's going to fill those shoes. We're going to have to work together as a team to further on ISKCON Wales and further on the farm and the, you know, whatever we do, whether it's that or like other centres or just the community growing.
Yeah. We're inheriting his lovely garden. No. So we'll have to get together and look after it.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, pick them crisp packets out when they come up.
You're right, and that takes constant work.
And not argue. Don't argue about.
Okay.
Don't argue with each other about stupid stuff.
Right. Why are you looking at me for that?
I'm not. I should have.
But Abraham Lincoln said, "The price of freedom is eternal vigilance."
Nice. Is he the singer from Linkin Park?
No, but he's dead. He killed himself.
Who, Abraham Lincoln?
Did he?
Who did?
The singer from Linkin Park. You didn't know that?
Is it Abraham Lincoln?
I
thought you meant the president from America.
Yeah, I do. I don't know what Bhakta-rupa is on about. But I did. Everyone knows Abraham Lincoln. Who doesn't know Abraham Lincoln?
You can plug it back in.
What was that sound?
He's just Bhakta-rupa's mic has just been mystically unplugged.
It's his headphones.
Getting going home now.
Calling in my skin.
That was an amazing podcast, Gopala. Thanks for.
Yeah, no, that's really inspiring, especially that last point you were making.
Yeah, I didn't mean to ruin it at the end.
Comparing.
I just wanted to bring it back down to.
I'm sorry. Did I go a bit much?
No,
you've
inspired me to
that point about like Prabhupada and stuff.
Make the most of this.
The devotees who were spending their time with Prabhupada, they just didn't know at the time, you know, how like special those moments were, and it made me think, wow, like actually, I got to hold on to these moments I get with Taraknath and serving Taraknath day to day. You know, what an opportunity.
Yeah, there's no harm in really appreciating what we got, you know. And that's the thing. It's like some people are like, okay, go by. You're just talking about, you know, just talking about how amazing they are all the time and stuff like that. And okay, well, but if we don't appreciate it now, you know, we're gonna wait. What's gonna happen is we're gonna wait until, you know, 20 years down the line, and then everyone will be like, then everyone will appreciate it then. Oh wow, look how amazing that was. If we want it to grow nicely, we appreciate it now. Okay, well, Hare Krishna. Welsh Yogi Podcast Ki Jai. Is that mine?
That's mine.
Maybe it's mine. Mine's my back.
You can have it if you want.
Pizza Peru Ki Jai. That was a test, Peter. You passed. All right, Bhakta-rupa, any final words?
Amazing grace, how sweet.
I was just thinking.
Excuse me. This sound.
I just want to add. I know I do this.
These are the
time.
Welsh voices.
I do this every time, but
these are the beautiful Welsh voices. No, go on. Let Peter speak.
If we really go, you know, if we really like take on what you're saying now, then we won't regret after that we didn't appreciate.
You know, I talked about before. There's that family. Every time any one of them leaves, they say, "I love you." I say, "I love you back," because they had a horrible motorcycle accident where one of their family left and died, and that's what they wished they'd said to them. You know, so the same thing. It's like, you know, I love you, boys. But Peter, I love you. Bhakta-rupa, I love you.
Have a safe trip up to India.
I'm gonna miss you.
Or down to India. I'm going up to Newcastle.
I'm gonna miss both of you. You're both going.
We're all going. The three yogis are all flying off.
We're going in separate directions, but you're taking Mike's with you.
Yeah.
Gopal's going to do some India.
I'll do some India.
Can you try and get one every Sunday at least? Like,
I want.
Oh, definitely, isn't it?
I want to get into it. I want to get tackled into it and do it like every other day.
That's what I mean. This podcast really is just setting
I'm
you
going
up
to create a new
for Tarak
series.
series. Yeah,
It's going to be a new series, and it's going to hopefully be a piece of like media that we can keep on our website for future reference.
A jewel for generations.
like a history of Tarak.
Like a
Let's see.
seminar.
I don't know where it's going to
Get
go.
into it. Go
Let's
to the
go.
beginning. We want to know. Like,
Let's start at the very beginning. It's a perfect place to start. Hare Krishna. I will. I'll try my best for it. Well, Yogi, keep Jai.
Jai.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Nama Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachacharya Satarini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta